I'm Hannah, a 30-year-old working housewife. I live with my husband, just the two of us. We've been married for a year, so we don't have any children yet. But we had a fairly enjoyable everyday life. Whenever we had a day off together, we would go out and eat delicious food. We both worked, so we indulged ourselves a little and had fun. At our age, there are many people who already have children, but we weren't pressured to have any. Both my parents and my in-laws seemed to think that we should leave it to the stork's mood. Besides, we were newlyweds, so we wanted to enjoy ourselves while we could. That's how we spend our days, but lately my husband's behavior has changed. He's always sneaking around, and he's cold when I talk to him. He always holds his smartphone, and he takes it with him even when he goes to the bathroom or the bath. When I pointed it out to him, he got very angry. Hey, don't you think you're playing with your phone too much? You take it everywhere, don't you? Can't you do something about it?
What? It's none of your business. What does it have to do with you?
Well, it doesn't, but still. Our conversation has decreased, hasn't it? We're still newlyweds, you know?
Shut up. Are you my mother? Let me do what I want. Do you know who's making this lifestyle possible for you?
What?
I'm the one who earns money and feeds you, so don't tell me what to do. Got it? Understand?
I was shocked by what he said to me. I didn't think he was such a chauvinist, and I was also surprised. Sure, his income was higher than mine. But I worked too. I worked hard, and I wasn't relying on him for everything. Even if I was a full-time housewife, I wouldn't want to be spoken to like that. It was a completely inconsiderate remark, and I couldn't forgive it. He said he was the one who made it possible for me to live. But who did he think was doing the household chores? He helped me with them for the first month after we got married. But he doesn't do any housework anymore. He acts like it's natural for me to do it. I was also annoyed by that. So I talked back to him. Hey, you said who's making this lifestyle possible for you, right? Can I ask you something? Who do you think makes it possible for you to wear clean clothes and sleep in a clean bed?
What?
I'm the one who always does the laundry and makes the bed, right? Wrong. You don't do any housework at all, do you? Don't act so arrogant. Then he got even angrier and hurled horrible words at me. They were so bad that I wanted to cover my ears.
Shut up. I married you, an old hag like you, so you should be grateful. Don't act so high and mighty, you old hag. You're nothing but a maid who earns pennies and does housework.
Excuse me?
No, maybe a slave. Yeah, that's right. You're a perfect slave. Just be quiet and do what I say. And don't tell me what to do. Got it?
He said that while tearing up the beauty magazine that I loved to read, which was lying around. I was going to read it now, and I was very sad. I had been looking forward to buying it every month. It wasn't a big amount of money, but it was quite shocking to me. He was so angry that he exploded in a tantrum. He wasn't like that when we were dating, and I didn't know at all. He didn't even get that angry when we first got married. Maybe this was his true nature. I started to hate him more and more. But he was someone I loved once. Maybe if I tried to compromise a little, we could understand each other better. I thought that, and I tried to understand him somehow. But he didn't seem to want to compromise with me. He didn't help me at all when I was busy with housework. And he didn't take care of me when I was sick in bed with a cold. He even treated me like a germ and told me not to come near him. I didn't catch a cold on purpose, and I wasn't wandering around the house. But it was okay to go get a drink, right? He frowned when he saw me standing in front of the fridge. I felt so hopeless and sad. After that, our relationship didn't improve much. But he bought me a bouquet of flowers for my birthday. Maybe he was trying to compromise with me after all, I thought, and I was happy. I put the flowers in a vase and changed the water regularly. He loves me. Just thinking that, I felt like I could understand him better. As the end of the year approached, there was talk of visiting my in-laws' house. My husband seemed very excited about it. However, as a nurse, it didn't matter to me whether it was the end of the year or not. Since I couldn't take time off, we decided that my husband would go alone. He works for a major company, and it seems he can take time off relatively easily. My husband happily announced that he would spend 4 days at his parents' house.
Well then, I'll head to my parents' place.
Sure, I understand. Sorry, I can't go.
No, it's fine. Can't be helped.
I'll visit just for that one day when I have time off.
Got it.
And so, my husband set off for his parents' house at the end of the year. I headed to work since I had my job. His parents' house is in the neighboring state, about an hour and a half away by car. So, I decided to make the effort to go even on the days I had time off. I work in the emergency department of a general hospital, and the end of the year is especially busy. Patients with acute alcohol poisoning, sudden fevers, and injuries kept coming in. Since we only handle emergencies during the New Year period, both doctors and nurses were exhausted. I was managing such a hectic workload when I suddenly developed a fever at work. After being examined by a doctor, it turned out to be influenza. Feeling terrible and not wanting to risk spreading it to other staff or patients, I was told to go home. Even though it was my night shift, I felt apologetic. Thinking that luck wasn't on my side, I decided to head home. Well, my body was exhausted, so I planned to rest and sleep. And so, I finally arrived home. I unlocked the door with a click and stepped inside. That's when I heard the sound of the shower. Our house has a bathroom right near the entrance. So, the sound of the shower was clearly audible. As I stepped inside, I caught a faint scent of perfume I had never smelled before. I realized everything, but for now, I decided to send my husband a message. Somebody is in the house! Hey, what should I do?
It must be a burglar. Run away now.
Okay. He must be cheating on me, I'm sure of it. And with some woman I don't know, in this house. He didn't love me after all. I was so happy when he gave me that bouquet of flowers that day. I felt betrayed and full of anger. But I quietly closed the door of the house. I didn't want them to notice me, so I closed it as quietly as possible. Then I contacted all of his relatives on his side. Of course, his parents too. Our house is an apartment, and the parking lot is a multi-story one. So they wouldn't find out if I called from there. After waiting in the car in the parking lot for a while, relatives and in-laws arrived. They had quite angry expressions, especially my mother-in-law, who looked furious. And when I gently opened the door again, my mother-in-law burst into the bathroom.
What are you doing?
Oh no!
Eek!
It seemed that my husband and his young affair partner were playing in the bubble bath. Perhaps they had already showered. Even in the bathroom, my husband was holding his phone, but he dropped it into the foamy water. He must have been recording something scandalous. You've really gone and cheated on me, you scoundrel.
Wait! Listen! It's not what you think! It's not exactly cheating.
What's different? Doing something like this with a woman I don't even know. No matter how you explain it, it's still cheating, isn't it? My husband looked like he was about to cry as he glanced at me. Even the affair partner, tears in her eyes, looked up at me. I absolutely couldn't forgive these two. So, I took out my phone and played back the recording. The truth is, when I entered the house earlier, I had recorded their scandalous conversation. This is undeniable evidence of the affair. This conversation definitely sounds scandalous, doesn't it? How are you going to explain it?
Well, you see, it wasn't serious, just fooling around.
My husband's foolish explanation set off my mother-in-law's anger. And she yelled at them like crazy.
What do you mean it's not cheating? Don't you feel sorry for Hannah? I didn't know you were such a fool.
The quiet father-in-law was also angry and scolded his son. He was very gentle, but I was surprised to see him so angry. And the relatives around them also started to blame them. The husband was cowering in a shameful state. The mistress had already started crying.
You said you had something urgent to do today and left, but you were doing this. You did this to have fun cheating.
Well,
You're no longer my son or anything. You're a stranger from today.
what?
The husband looked very shocked. It was natural, since he was disowned by his own parents. But it was his fault for doing such a thing. He was certainly wrong. One of the relatives was a very scary uncle, and he cursed the husband a lot. The husband was afraid of him and started crying. He was pathetic for a man.
Please, don't blame me so much. I'm sorry.
Me too. Please forgive me.
No, I won't forgive you. I will claim damages from you.
What? Damage.
Wait, please. I don't want that.
Huh? You committed adultery, so you have to pay. If you didn't want to face legal action, you shouldn't have done such a thing in the first place. The cheating partner cried more and her eyes turned red. She would probably have swollen eyes tomorrow. The husband sobbed with a runny nose. I thought he was disgusting. I had no love left for this husband. All I had was hatred. I would never forgive this husband. So I decided to go to a lawyer's office on my day off. For now, I wanted to kick them out of the house, so I packed their belongings. I stuffed the husband's belongings into a Boston bag and threw it outside. I also threw out the cheating partner's expensive-looking bag. I kicked out the husband and the cheating partner and told them never to come back. I don't need dirty people in this house, so don't come in anymore.
Bye.
Wait! Please let me in.
Shut up. Be quiet.
Oh.
The in-laws and relatives left by car. The husband and his lover were having a lover's quarrel outside. They were arguing about who invited whom today. Listening to them, I thought they were idiots. They were so noisy that they might bother the people in the other rooms, so I called the police. The husband and his lover were warned and dispersed. That day, of course, the husband didn't come back. He probably went to some business hotel or somewhere. I didn't feel lonely or anything. I felt refreshed. More than that, I had a fever and felt terrible. When I was yelling at my husband, I had forgotten that I had a fever, but I remembered it. I felt drained, so I changed my clothes and collapsed on the bed as soon as I got there. There were some emergency retort foods and drinks in the house. I thought I could manage without anyone. But what on earth was my husband thinking? He said he was going back to his parents' house, but he lied and came back home to cheat on me. I was really disgusted. He knew I was working the night shift and he targeted me that day. How much did he look down on me? I told the relatives and in-laws that I had the flu. I felt sorry for them if I had infected them because I was there. But I didn't hear from them for 2 days, so they must have been fine. But on the 3rd day after I kicked out my husband, he contacted me. He said he had a fever and felt terrible. He must have caught the flu. I wore a mask and stuff, but I must have infected him somehow. And his lover was also delirious with fever. They had a fight, but they were staying at the same business hotel. They both couldn't move and asked me to help them. Despite feeling bad too, what were they talking about?
Genesis and I have a high fever and are delirious. Please come and take care of us.
I'm sick with the flu too, so no way. Besides, what are you saying after cheating on me?
Don't say that. You're a nurse, right? You're so cold.
Did you think I would do anything for you because I'm a nurse? I'm a human being too. I don't want to take care of you. Do whatever you want.
So you're saying it's okay if I die?
Yes, go ahead and die. I don't care, and besides, you won't die so easily. You have thick skin, don't you?
How could you?
Oh, by the way, I'll go to the lawyer's office when I get better. I have a day off on Monday, maybe I'll be fine by then, right?
Hey, are you serious about asking for compensation? I can't pay that. I gave a lot of money to Genesis.
I don't care. You gave it to her willingly, right? I'll make you pay even if you have to borrow money. Be prepared. And I went to the lawyer's office when I recovered from the flu. I divorced my husband and got compensation from both of them. The lawyer helped me in a favorable way and I was able to get divorced. And I got a lot of money from both of them. My ex-husband had given a lot of money to his mistress, so he ran out of savings after paying me. And his mistress had a fiancé even though she did such a thing. So she had to pay him too. They deserved the punishment from heaven, and I couldn't stop laughing. After that, my ex-husband who recovered from the flu went to apologize to his parents' house. But they turned him away. He contacted me again. He wanted me to let him in the house. But I had no intention of doing that. I decided to move out quickly. My ex-husband said he was supporting me, but I was the one paying the rent. Of course, I was the one who signed the contract. So I was free to move out. I had his parents pick up his stuff. My mother-in-law kindly accepted it and I was grateful. After that, I deleted his contact information. But I heard from a friend that he lost his job and disappeared. His mistress was a coworker of his, but she was harassing other women. She was so disgusting. Now, I live comfortably in a different apartment. I'm busy with work, but I'm happy and have no problems. Life is long, and I want to get married again if I find a good partner. I'll make sure to choose carefully next time.
How did you like this story? Please subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.